Yo, this hot, this the spot. There it is, pod.com. We're interviewing the best comedians, so tune in quick and get your ears receiving them. We talking about life and life to stream right to you, from the microphone right to your home, dude. Side note, this might get embarrassing, but no, don't sweat, yo, cause there it is.
Welcome to the There It Is podcast, a comedy podcast to help you find your inspiration. I'm your host, Jason Barr. Let's do this. Welcome to the final interview episode of the year. And also welcome to the final stage of us having schlubby comedians, because it's over. That stage of our entertainment is over, and it's all thanks to Kumail Nanjiani. He's an actor, comedian. He wrote and starred in The Big Sick with his wife. He co-wrote that with his wife, and he was on Silicon Valley. Yeah, that guy, that normal-looking guy. He is now super jacked. I don't know if you've seen his Instagram, but he looks like Chris Hemsworth or something like that. And that is hard to compute. And like, if you haven't seen the pictures and you hear me say that, you're like, I can't picture that. And then you see the picture and you're like, I still can't picture this. What am I watching? And it's him. Granted, he's in a Marvel movie coming out, and they can afford the trainers and the nutritionists. We can't compare ourselves to that, but I'm still seeing it. And I'm still seeing him in my brain the way I was picturing him before when somebody mentioned him. And I also see myself, and I see how different I look, and I this isn't okay. It's not okay. He's ruined it all. And now I just want to eat cookies for breakfast. And I don't mean good cookies, because it's a shame eating breakfast. I want the bad cookies. I don't know about you, but when I shame eat, it can't be good stuff. It's got to be shameful. It's got to be stuff that is bad for me and also tastes bad, so I can really take in the shame. I got to taste the shame. And so it's got to be like the dry ass gas station cookies. Like it can't be Oreos. I'd enjoy that. So thanks a lot, Kumail. And in all honesty, it was actually inspiring. It inspired me to go to the gym. So who knows? Maybe I'll hit my marks in the new year. Maybe in a year I will post the thirstiest of Instagram pictures. It'll just be me next to some dry-ass gas station cookies. The only reason it's thirsty is because I need milk for these cookies. All right, enough of that nonsense. Today's guest is wonderful. She's an actress, dancer, and improviser. Here's my chat with Anna New. Where are you from?
New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I could see that. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about New Hampshire.
No, nothing?
Not really. I've never been, and I don't know that I've met anyone from there, so I don't know what what
the life is like there?
Yeah, or like even the temperament or the type of people who come from there.
Yeah.
Are they like you? Mild-mannered and sweet?
Ugh.
Do you not see yourself as mild-mannered and sweet?
I guess I don't like it.
You do have, the more I get to know you, the more mischievous I realize you are.
Thank you.
Which is a compliment.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't the first thing I noticed. The first thing I noticed was like, oh, she's so sweet.
Because I'm quiet.
Yeah, but you're also
voice.
like well, it's not just that. You're also like, the way you engage with people is really nice. It's like, you seem like a really nice person.
Thanks.
Are you one of those people that doesn't like compliments, or you do begrudge being nice and you want to be the bad girl?
I don't want to be the bad girl, but I don't like being nice. I don't know. I think like one time someone had said something of like, nice isn't good. Like
some people say nice is boring.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess that's like.
But those people are sociopaths.
Yeah. All of them are sociopaths.
Not really, but I just mean, it's like they for some reason think it's like they see nice as being weak or something like that, where it's like, yeah, but you're not causing any trouble. It's like, why do you want trouble, though? You know?
Yeah.
So I think those people are weird and shouldn't be listened to.
Yeah, but there's like a point of like nice where it can be perceived as like not full, not like deep human emotions. Where it's like, I like if someone is like, oh, okay, maybe she's like outwardly nice, but also there's like more. But then when you assume that there's like not more, it's just like, oh, she's just nice. Then it kind of like puts me in a box. Mm-hmm.
I could see that. But nice is still a good thing, right?
Yeah. I can be real mean.
Yeah, you know, that's what Liz was saying when she was on, when I was talking to her, and she was like, well, she didn't sing it exactly like that, but she was saying the same kind of thing, and you two are like best friends.
I think that's why we get each other.
Yeah.
Because also we shit talk a lot when we're together, and it's like kind of freeing, and like neither of us judge it. Where it's like, no, we need like an outlet to be mean, but also like
it's
we're
so
nice,
funny,
good friends.
Though, like what people consider mean or bad sometimes is like not really either.
Yeah,
I'm getting that from it's like that. You what do you consider shit talking?
just like, I don't know, making fun of people.
I mean, I just feel like it's probably what everyone does.
Yeah.
You're probably talking the way everyone talks.
Fine.
And not actually being mean.
No, it's mean.
Okay. All right.
Let me be mean.
If you're making fun of Tiny Tim, then okay.
Yeah, that's what we spend the majority of our time doing.
Making fun of that kid.
Yeah.
Or a kid like him. Then yeah, okay, mean.
Yeah. Cruel.
I'm sure it's not as mean as you make it out to be. But it's so... Is that the vibe from New Hampshire? People who are nice and hate it and don't want to be called nice?
No. No. New Hampshire is... Well, do you know much about Vermont or Maine?
Yeah, a little bit more. I would say much more about those two than...
I feel like we're just like a lesser version of those two states. Where
Okay.
It's like we're not as nice. We're not as like cozy. We're not as fun. We're just kind of like, I don't know, our trees aren't as good. Our skiing isn't as good. Our maple syrup isn't as good.
Your ice cream shops aren't as good.
No, growing up, there was an ice cream shop called Moo's that was near me. That was very good.
But has it Ben and Jerry's good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say
That's the one thing
and I've
that
been to Ben and
compares to
Jerry's,
Vermont.
like
Right.
a few times.
The lobsters is good.
The lobster's good.
All right.
Yeah, I get like a lobster roll every time I'm home.
Did you go to college in New Hampshire?
I didn't. I'm in college now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I moved to New York right after high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you do when you moved to New York?
I took acting classes at a conservatory, and then just was like working, and then started doing improv. But
How long have you been doing that? Like, when did you start acting? I don't know how old you are.
well, I'm 26.
Okay. So like 8 years ago, you started taking acting classes.
Kind of. Well, it was like my senior year of high school, I started acting, and then I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. Just like I had been dancing growing up, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. And then
Yeah, you're graceful like a dancer is.
oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I like wanted that to be my life, and then like for various reasons that didn't work out, and then I like didn't believe that I could do it. So I thought like acting was a good second option. So I did. I didn't do any acting, and my mom's like, if you want to move to the city and not go to college to act, you need to like do something in high school to prove that you like want to act. So I auditioned for the play, like the last play. I was Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh, okay.
And I played like a backup dancer. So got a lot of acting experience. Yeah, then I just like auditioned for conservatories here.
Okay, where did you study?
Michael Howard Studios.
Okay.
It's like a very small little place. I auditioned for American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And their program is like wildly expensive. So, and then when I went, in the
so
summer,
expensive
it's
that
so,
it was expensive.
it was. Don't Don't make fun of me. I was just gonna roll on by that and hope that no one listening.
All right, don't shit talk me later when you're with Liz because I did that.
I'm like already noting all the things I'm gonna say.
No, so you were in. They were real expensive, and so you didn't go there.
Yeah.
But it is like I guess one of the more popular ones here. I guess
so.
I guess
Or
I don't
it's
know
like,
what is like the one.
I don't know either.
I don't either. Yeah, I know. I hear Barrel Group a lot.
Yeah. The only reason I went to this one was because my dad watches like a lot of crime shows, a lot of Law and Order and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Which films here?
Yeah, and he would look up the actors that he liked on those shows,
And they
then
went there.
Tell me like a few of them went to Michael Howard Studios, whatever that is. So that's literally the reason why I went there.
That's really nice that he was being supportive that way and like even doing some research for you. That's cool.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, they've been pretty supportive.
That's good.
Also like worried, but supportive.
That's every parent of an artist. They just want you to have health insurance.
Yes. Yeah, I guess so.
It's like, so you have that, they're fine. So that, I think, maybe explains your presence on stage, that you did acting before improv. Mm-hmm. Where did you start with improv?
At the acting conservatory, Armando was like a teacher for like an improv class, like a one-off or something. Mm-hmm. And then I like took his workshop there. And then I started, when I was 20, I started at Magnet.
So you've been doing that for a while then, like improv as well, like what, 6 years?
Yeah.
How did acting before improv inform your improv? Or did it?
I guess maybe like... I don't know. I think I've lost it a little recently, but I think when I started, like I liked to play these really real, like emotional characters, and then it would, based off of whatever situation that came up, you know, like that exercise where you like do a dramatic scene, and then the teacher says like, now do it, but with this like funny thing in mind. So it's not like a breakup scene now. It's like you're talking about like eating something. I don't know what I'm saying. I can't improvise right now. It's morning. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
just
I think
like change the serious thing into something funny.
But
or goofy.
you're
Not
doing
serious.
it so you're like treating it so real. So I think like that acting and maybe helped with doing that. But now I think I've gotten to a place where I like giggle a lot on stage and I don't treat things seriously anymore.
Yeah, I think that the same has happened with me, and I mean, it's just, I guess, a thing that evolves over time, because what can happen if you're being really actor trained about your improv is you start getting too serious in scenes sometimes and forget the comedy.
Yeah.
And then when you start saying like, oh yeah, let me like change, let me correct this and recalculate, then you can get to a giggly place.
Yeah.
That's what's happened to me too.
Yeah. Cool.
Not that I was ever like straight faced with improv, but I do break more now than I did 2 years ago.
Well, the times that I've seen you, I haven't seen you break.
Well, thank you.
I feel like
I think it depends on the show and what happens. Sometimes like Ian or Julia or Jonathan will do something unexpected and I'll just like I think I decently hide it well, because it's not when I'm talking that I break. It's when like someone else is talking.
Yeah.
But I fully break. Just no one's looking at me because I'm not the focal point. I like trying to incorporate acting into improv. And I think that's why the first time I saw you a couple years ago, I was like, she's great, because you seem to really be absorbing everything that was happening. Like I feel like a lot of times in improv, people are just like trying to like get to another line, a witty line real quick, and they respond a lot of times too quickly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because they don't seem to absorb what's really happening. They're just sort of like taking information and then spewing out whatever they added up in their brain, which can get to be like the chess of improv or the math of improv. But what I really appreciated and was like a breath of fresh air was someone would say something and you would not just like even immediately emotionally respond. It was like you were letting it sink in, like a real person acts. and then you would say something that was so thoughtful in the moment that I was like, oh, I really like her style, because it's this grounding force in the scene. And then you do something silly and it was like, and here's something super funny to come right after that. Like, it was a good thing. So
Thank you.
I'm not surprised to hear that you were acting first at an acting studio, at a conservatory, no less.
Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
so kind. Yeah, I often feel like self-conscious about the way that I approach improv, because I I admire the people who can do the witty things and say,
Me too.
like, the jokes. Like, I'm like, I never will be able to do that because I stumble over my words. I'm very reactive, but I'm not like intellectually able to do, like, right now, me trying to explain it to you.
You're
like,
doing fine. You're
really?
doing fine.
It doesn't feel smooth.
I think maybe that's why I relate to you, because I'm absolutely the same way. Like, my favorite improvisers outside of the Magnet are like Jason Mantzoukas or Ben Schwartz, like people who are super fast.
Yeah.
Especially Ben Schwartz. He's like a mile a minute.
Yeah.
Sort of thinker. And I'm not, and I just appreciate that and wish I could think that quickly and respond with something so like unique as quickly as they do. But that's just not who I am. Because I too will like stumble on my words and feel like I just try to be present. But I wish I could think a little quicker about like, oh, that's the game or whatever. Like,
God,
I'm not
yeah.
good at game.
No, me
I'm not super good at it. But like within the scene, maybe like doing a second beat, I could come up with a game-centered second beat. But within a scene, I'm just like, I guess I'm too much of an actor about it.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Which is fine.
Yeah. Which is like just who I am.
Yeah.
And all anyone asks me to be at Magnet, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
How has that been for you, like studying at Magnet?
Good. I mean, I like it a lot because of the people. Yeah, it's been, I can't believe that it's been 6 years
Yeah.
there. It's like a lot. Also good. I met Alex Kornfeld the first day of the first class.
Aw,
Yeah.
and you guys are best friends
We're best
too,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Alex is best.
Yeah. He's ridiculous. Great.
And for people who don't know, I'm on a team with Alex Kornfeld. That's why he's partly why it's being brought up.
Yes.
Because I know him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really great. I mean, community is such a huge part of Magnet. And I guess you didn't see, I mean, were you familiar 6 years ago with UCB's approach, and did you consider going there or one of the other theaters that existed at the time?
Like, I wanted to, I just didn't want to yet. Like, I felt comfortable in Armando's class where I was like, okay, I know what I'm getting into
Right.
going here. And like, I started the internship program and I was like able to go through the levels doing that. And like UCB was like, okay, that will happen eventually when I feel comfortable enough in my improv and like want to like do something with it, whatever.
Because it was like, were you thinking they're really industry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my assumption of it. And then I've taken a couple classes there, and I think like I'll take like one a year. But it's I don't know. I guess like my want to do something with improv has like kind of faded.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a silly want, because also I don't even know what that means. Yeah. But I guess part of me still wants that.
So you mean that improv is not as like much of a focus anymore, or you mean improv like pursuing it as a student to get somewhere is not as much of a focus? Because you do improv every week.
I do.
Once
I
or
do.
twice a week.
But I think without the thing in the back of my mind that's like, you like, this is how you're going to
I see, yeah.
do something in comedy, whether on TV or whatever. I think that
It
was
doesn't
like,
have an end goal anymore.
no, it's just like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and you're on ADX, Armando Diaz Experience, which is one of the big shows at the theater, and you're great on it. One of the things I really like about ADX is that the cast are all such different thinkers, and you all like work so well together. It's not like sometimes that can not go well, but it goes really well with that team.
Yeah.
With that crew. What about ADX, like, or that particularly the Armando style, interests you or excites you?
Well, I love that there's monologues.
Yeah.
I like real people's stories, and being inspired by them. Yeah, I like that the cast is so big and it just like kind of changes every week.
Yeah. Such good people. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Hannah, Rick.
It's intimidating.
Eleanor. Yeah. So many good people in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would.
Yeah. I've been on it for, God, a year and a half? I don't know.
I don't know
Maybe.
either.
Why don't you know? I don't know. You should know. Yeah, I feel like I'm only starting to be comfortable. Like, I think I don't know. It's different than being on a house team where you're, like, bonding all the time.
Yeah.
And, like, that just makes, like, for a comfortable, fun improv show.
Right, because this is a weekend show.
Yeah.
And so it's something where, like, teachers are on the cast. So it's not something where, I mean, do you rehearse a week?
We rehearse, like, every couple weeks with Lewis for an hour and a half. And I, like, love those practices, but they're so, like, few because everyone's so busy.
Right. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, so many people are teachers.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're on there. Yeah, and it's an interesting vibe to experience because you do have the fast players who think really quickly and go out there and do something, and you're still finding your moments as well within that, and it's not like slowing anything down or speeding anything up. Everything is just like moving really fluidly.
Yeah.
With your approach, how have you felt about that? I guess also coupled with this, like, just now getting comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like finding your space. Like, that has been, like, the goal over this time, is, like, as a quiet improviser and person, to, like, also not be comfortable yet, and then try to be like, hey, this is what I have to offer, and knowing what you have to offer to the team. I think for a while I was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna laugh on the sidelines and, like, enjoy. But then, like, I feel like each week I try to push myself a little more to go out in another scene, or, like, give myself that space.
That's really interesting to hear. I mean, I've felt the same way, but I'm surprised that you feel that way.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I never would have detected from the audience that you were, like, feeling a little hesitant.
Really?
For sure. Yeah, really. I think this is one of those weird things about improv where people that you see when you're a student are just like the big dogs, like they're the A-listers, so to speak. And so you look up to them. And I mean, for a team like that, everyone's very talented. They have to be on that team. And there's such exhilarating shows that you just assume everyone up there is just so confident, I guess. Yeah. Whereas when you're in that position and people are like, oh my gosh, you're so good, it's always like, what?
Yeah.
Like somebody, I was sitting in the audience one day during a Megawatt, just like to see one of the other hours. And some guy I'd never seen before just like turned around and was like, oh, you're so funny, man. You're hilarious. And I was like, huh? I was like, thank you to him, but in my mind, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And you just don't know, like, how people in the audience are receiving you.
No.
And it feels weird to a certain degree to hear that, because in your head, you're just seeing, like, well, here are all the things that I wish I was doing that I'm not doing.
Yeah.
Or here are the things that I wish I was stronger at. And here are the things that I'm real bad at that I keep doing. Like, those are the things in my mind all the time. So when somebody says some sort of compliment, so I guess you're having that same experience. So you're like, huh?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure this out. What do you mean I'm a varsity player.
Varsity. God, I've never been varsity in anything. Yeah, I think we all feel that way too. I think that's kind of helped get more comfortable is like talking. I hope I'm not like outing Justin, but Justin Anderson, like I remember I talked to him about not being comfortable. I think with like Xavier too, where it's like it took a long time and still it's like, but then if we really think about it, even our bad shows are like fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like they're still better than a lot of shows. Like, you know, it's really like quote unquote bad because I haven't seen an ADX show that was like, this is bad improv. Like, I've not seen that. How do people get more confidence? Is it talking about it like you were saying?
Oh God, I don't have the answer to that. I'm still like not a super confident person. Yeah, I think just like just talking about it with other people and just like realizing you're not alone in whatever you're feeling about
Yeah.
your insecurities in improv.
Yeah.
And also like not taking it so seriously. I think that has
It's a
helped
weird
a
balance,
lot.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's like you want it's something you're passionate about and want to be
Yeah.
good at and something you love.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is like this level of having some sort of serious approach, I guess, to learning more
Yeah.
and studying. But there's this thin line between that and taking it too seriously,
Oh, God, yeah.
where it's not fun for you and you're not getting better, and it's like a bad show can like ruin your night or
God,
week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess another thing that I've experienced is just like having camaraderie with your team can help, because then you're just like, hey, we're all in this together.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple years ago, I was definitely taking it so seriously, and after shows, I'd feel like absolutely shit. And then, like, our whole team would be down, and it was like a terrible, like, domino. And we just all, like, feel like awful about doing some silly, like, butt jokes or whatever. Yeah, I think it like helped to have somebody at the community kind of like tell me like don't, like, I think it was Nick Canellis like had to sit down talk with me.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, oh yeah, like relax. It's
You're
fun.
fine. It's going fine.
Yeah.
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 It's funny how much that can happen, where that can come from, because it's like Nick Canellis is one of the huge people in the theater,
Yeah.
being half of Trike. But it's also like, what should we take seriously then? If we can't take seriously the thing that we want to spend all of this time on.
It's a balance. It's a balance.
Speaking of balance,
Okay.
I feel like balance is a big part of dance.
It is. Ooh,
Great
that was
segue.
Great.
Best segue of the podcast
Yeah,
ever.
we should end it there.
Yeah, there it is. No, but you did dance. You mentioned that before, and you do a improv dance show,
Yeah, a couple times I've done that.
and that's something Hannah Chase runs.
Both of us. Yeah.
Oh, you
both
both
of
run
us,
it, okay.
Made it and directed it.
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
that's what I originally thought. When you said you've done it a couple of times, I
Yeah.
thought, oh, but I thought it had been going on more than a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to do it?
I don't dance.
That's the whole point of it. It's like
Oh,
none
interesting.
of like there's a few people on the team that have dance experience.
Charlie Nicholson was on, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Previous guest.
Alex Kornfeld's
Wonderful
also
person.
on it.
Oh,
I don't
cool.
think he would call himself a dancer.
No, I don't know that he would. He flosses a lot.
He does.
He flosses.
Oh God, he does do that a lot. He should stop doing that.
Should he?
It's old now. It's old news.
Well, I don't know.
What?
It's a good workout.
If he wants to do it, he can do it.
I think it's quintessentially Alex Kornfeld at this point to floss. Is that what he did, the dance impression?
No, he didn't do any flossing in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's like
You gotta have him back then,
yeah,
so he can floss.
so
in the
he
show.
can floss.
But it's improv. Just let it come naturally.
Yeah. Don't force the flossing.
Don't force the flossing. What? Explain the show to me.
Sure.
So, is there just no talking? It's just all dance.
No, it's like a Herald form, and you there's improvised scenes, but then music, or the cast can like create music, and you kind of like flow in and out of the scene into dance. So then hopefully you're like dancing whatever emotion, or like even the plot, you'll like dance out the plot of the scene, and then when the music fades back, you like go back into the improv scene kind of with that heightened emotion. Maybe your
Okay.
body changed a little bit. I just like physical comedy, and
I'd
like
love to see this show. What I've seen online were just like little snippets, and it was just dancing. So I didn't know that there was also like just straight up improv in
there
there.
is.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's silly and fun. Yeah, I wanted like a little project to do too.
Where were you running those at?
The practices were at this place called Battery Dance, and then we've done shows at Magnet and the Pit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. What can you say about how dance affects the improv? Like how do you approach that?
Kind of go along with what I said, like the physicality will like change your character or the scene, or like just like adds a funny element, or like it kind of can surprise you, like whatever your body wants to do.
And that is for the beginning and end of the scene?
It's like all over the place. So there's
Okay.
like group dances that are just dances, and then in the scene sometimes it will start with the dance, then transition into an actual improv scene. But there's like it kind of kind of had like a really big structure when we started, and now it's kind of like whenever they want to dance. So it's kind of free.
That's very interesting. It's interesting to me because I think physicality can be easily overlooked in improv because it can be so cerebral. It could be all about like what can I create and think
Yeah.
of. But it is a really good tool to have to use your body to inspire what you say. And that's not utilized enough. It sounds like would have to be utilized entirely almost for
Yeah.
your show. Yeah.
And it's hard. It works your brain in a different way to like transition from dance to saying something. Yeah, it's like a little brain teaser.
Whenever I've done exercises, they weren't dance exercises, but they were like physicality was like the main point to inspire the scene. It's always helped it flow really well. Because I guess it's like a full body sort of thing. Like you're using your whole body to express. And that just feels good to do.
Yeah.
It feels really refreshing. And maybe that again goes back to like the acting sort of thing where you are using your whole, like good actors use their whole body.
Yeah.
Especially in stage. So I guess that is why I'm so interested in hearing more about this show and seeing this show.
Yeah.
Are you putting it up anytime soon?
Hopefully. Yeah. We kind of like a break for the holidays, but then I'm away for all of January, but when I come back, I was gonna like see.
You're away for all of January. Where are you going?
I'm going to Hong Kong and Vietnam.
Oh wow! What is going on?
Well, one of my best friends lives in Hong Kong, so I'm gonna go visit her, and then Liz and I are going to Vietnam for a week, and then I'm spending a week in another part of Vietnam by myself.
Interesting.
Because I just needed to get away in between semesters at school, so
Oh, I see.
just kind of thought this was a fun thing. I just kind of am very impulsive, and I like buy tickets to go places, and then I'm like, oh shit, I have to pay for this, and yeah.
You don't regret having to go. You regret
Yeah.
the reality of
Yeah.
money in it.
But it's gonna be great.
Have you been there before?
I've been to Hong Kong. I lived in Hong Kong for a little.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, for like 6 months. And then I have never been to Vietnam. But I figure like every couple of years I want to go visit my friend. So like go to Hong Kong and then go someplace else that I haven't been. Like I would like to go to Malaysia, want to go to Laos. But like Vietnam was this trip.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's really cool. How do you use travel to inform your life, or even, your improv? Or do you do that?
I don't know. I think it's like the adventuresome part of myself. Like, I don't know. I feel weird saying this, but it's like I feel like a little brave, like traveling by myself and like just like doing it. And I guess like there's that part of me that's like made me want to do improv and like be on stage as like an introvert. There is like a brave element. I hate that I'm saying. I feel like gross saying that.
Saying that you're brave?
Yes.
I think it's because so many people put themselves on a pedestal on social media sometimes by saying like, I'm brave. But I mean, it does take bravery to say like, I'm going to go to Hong Kong for a month. I'm going to spend a little time in another country alone. And it's to me that you trying to put yourself out there and you're trying to enhance your bravery. So I don't think that's a bad thing to say.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not like, it doesn't sound like you're putting yourself on a pedestal to me.
I'm great. Look at me and what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think you're fine. Don't worry about it. Don't feel bad saying it.
But yeah, I think if that applies to improv, that's how.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, people tell you to live a full life.
Yeah. Meeting lots of different people. I'm definitely like a people watcher too.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah. So you can talk that shit when you're with Liz.
or
No,
improvise as them, be a character.
Oh, that's interesting. So
Yeah.
when you people watch, you file it in your brain to try to be that person?
A little, like I don't actively like when I go out into a scene, like I'm gonna play this person.
I'm gonna be that lady I saw at the donut shop.
Yeah. No, but
You
I
don't
think
do that.
like subconsciously, like I'll watch it and I'll be like, oh, that's funny. Like that's so specific the way that they're moving their hands. And then I'll be like, find myself doing that in a scene.
That's interesting. Yeah. I'm a people watcher, and I did it to inform that side of me, like the actor side of me. But I don't know that it's translated as much. Maybe it has more than I realize, but
Maybe.
Who really knows? But maybe that's it. Maybe it's is it that you're thinking it out, you're processing it out, and that's how it ends up in your improv, that when you see them you're like, oh, that's interesting because of this or whatever. Is that
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's more like, it's like anything physical. So then I think once I like improvise with that physicality, I'm like kind of like discovering my idea of that person.
because I'm just a big noticer.
Yeah.
Like if I'm on the train and I see a couple, it's like they look like they're in this sort of conversation and in this sort of stage in their relationship, but I don't go any deeper than that. So I don't know that it always sticks.
It might.
Maybe I need to just be like, oh, that's interesting. That's funny how they're moving their hands. Like you
Maybe,
do.
yeah. Maybe like write it down and then like forget about it and then do some improv.
Or maybe I could take a video of them and then watch it right before a
Don't do
show.
that.
Oh, I'm not supposed
If
to
they
do
catch you,
I know, yeah. No, I'm kidding.
and then they're like, what are you doing with that video?
Nothing.
It's for improv.
Oh, it's improv. I'm an actor. I can do this. And they beat me up. I don't know if you've seen TJ and Dave's DVD.
Yes. Yeah, I have.
Because part of the reason they walk around together and then go their separate ways to walk around is so they can absorb what's going on, and that finds its way into their improv.
Yeah.
But I think they are like actively thinking about it.
Yeah.
Or more actively watching, which I am not as active as you or they are.
I'm not on their level. Their level's like, whoa.
Yeah. Who's on their level? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just mean like in the people watching part.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like,
what I mean too.
Oh,
I
you're
don't
not even
think-
on their level.
I don't think
they
I'm as-
observe some.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're interesting. I guess it's just from like 30 years of doing improv.
Yeah. Oh God. It's forever.
Yeah, even longer for Dave. He started, I think, mid 80s.
Boy. Do you think that we will still be doing improv for that long?
I don't know. Maybe I started too late because he started real young. I think anyone who started young has that opportunity. But who knows? Who knows what's going to be the hot thing to do in 10 years? Maybe it's TikTok. Everyone's going to be doing
God.
TikTok instead of
TikTok
improv.
is for the young. I went on it because I like heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
What is this new thing that the kids are doing? And then I went on. I was like, oh, I'm way too old to be watching this stuff. Like,
This is a bunch of 14-year-olds.
Yes.
Yeah.
and they're all doing. There's like one where they like sit behind the kitchen counter and then just like put water bottles. And then, like, the other person's like, why is this water bottle here? And they put it in the fridge. And then they turn back around. There's another water bottle. I was like, what? And I was scrolling, and that came up multiple times. Like, do people just copy each other's video? Like, they're like, oh, this is a funny, but really not that funny thing. Then I haven't looked at it since.
I've not been on TikTok. I've just seen certain whatever videos got real big that people put on other social media. Those are the ones I've seen.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's going to go out like Vine.
I don't know. It seems pretty popular.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, Vine was popular, too.
It was.
I don't remember how that went out.
I got a Vine account, but I didn't really end up using it. And then I kind of hated the culture of Vine. So I'm just glad that it that it died. Because it really wasn't good for comedy. 6-second videos, it seems like maybe you could do something like a comic strip in video form. But it wasn't good because people's rhythm, they would force a rhythm for anything that wasn't just like a random bit. Like Bat Dad was great because it was a 2-second thing. It worked better because it's like, this is a random bit that I do. Or if someone's just doing something crazy, like running through a store and screaming something, it's like, okay, you know. But when it was somebody trying to do basically a meme, it didn't work because because of the length of time they had, that constraint, they had to like say whatever joke they had in an unrealistic rhythm that totally screwed up the comedy.
And comedy's all timing. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like, this is awful. This person is talking so unnaturally. You could tell that they're rushing just to get it out in time. And it's not funny. And I hated it. And it was really just like the people who did well. It was just like they won a popularity contest.
Yeah.
Like that was really all it was. It's like, it wasn't that they were so good at comedy. They were just the prettiest or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, oh, they're not funny. But they're doing super well on Vine. There were a couple people who were like, it seemed interesting. But they did well on YouTube as well. Because they could do more in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things on online comedy that I hate.
Yeah.
But we don't have to get into it. See, is that the kind of shit talking you do with Liz?
Yes. I mean, yeah.
See, that's not mean.
No,
That's
I
not
mean,
mean.
we can get more. That was pretty good.
All right.
You can like join us for a shit talking.
We're supposed to be joining each other for donuts.
I know.
And it's not happening. It's all Liz's fault.
I agree. I do think it's Liz's fault because she has like responded once to that chat, which is surprising because if donuts are brought up, usually she's like so game. But
Well, I guess she just doesn't want to hang out with me.
yeah, it's you.
Maybe I'm the problem. You two have this food blog that you do, and you're thinking of making it a podcast.
Yes, we desperately want it to be a podcast.
You just don't know how to make it into a podcast?
Yes. If you have any like tips and tricks.
I mentioned some things to her for the blog. What's the name of the food blog again?
Liz and Anna Eat Out New York.
Right. And as you very bashfully say, that sweet New Hampshire gal. No, so the idea is that you're trying different foods in all these different restaurants and places.
Yeah,
And just
it's like
talking about how you feel about it.
kind of like a travel blog too. Yeah, and just kind of us. We're both like very emotional and like love just like deep chats. So it's like sharing food and then like stories and meeting people through traveling. So like when we go to Vietnam, like the hope is that we'll like, you know, meet some people and like do some like cooking
have some
adventures.
interesting- Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be really great for the blog. I think that can translate really well. I mean, it's TV shows are doing that. You know, that's what a lot of the Travel Channel shows are. People just
Yeah.
going to another country and eating the food.
That's what we want. We want to have our own little show.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Anthony Bourdain did.
Yeah.
You know, he was going all these different places. And I think that could be a really interesting podcast. So, in the new year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just need to, like, regroup in the new year and, like, actually do it.
So you're in school now. What are you in school for?
I've been doing my undergrad, so just kind of, like, taking a lot of core classes and trying to figure out what it is I want to do. I think I've kind of settled on, because I do, like, love food, kind of going into, like, health and nutrition sciences or, like, public health.
I could see that.
Yeah. But, like, having if I became a nutritionist, it'd be, like body positive, like, intuitive eating. Like, I would, like, especially with my history of, like, eating stuff, like, eating problems, eating disorder stuff, like, I want to, like, reclaim that and kind of, like, be like a helpful nutritionist that's not like, don't eat that, like, I want to be like, have a donut, like, enjoy food, just, just like a healthier way about it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like, people can have these things. There are people, well, like Liz is a good example of someone who is enjoying all the foods and is still fit. You know what I mean? So I need to find the healthy balance, because I need to drop some LBs off this BELLY of mine.
Good spelling. Wow.
But I bring it up because I'm wondering what your opinion is on cheat days. I hear people, like The Rock always talks about how, like, Sunday is his big cheat day. What is that even a healthy approach?
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like partly it's like, if that works for him and he's happy with that, that's great. Like, for me, I can't do that. Like, I need to, like, eat what I want to eat, but also, like, recognize after how I feel. I'm, like, more of that person where it's like, yeah, if I want to have that slice of pizza, like, I'm gonna eat it. But I also, like, recognize if I have, like, 3, like, me and dairy are not great friends, and I'm not gonna be happy. Like, what is the happy balance for me?
Okay.
And then also it's like, yeah, I like eating lots of, like, good and healthy foods too. But yeah, just, it's taken a long time to, like, find balance, and I still, like, struggle with that, which is like, I think why I want to study it more too.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I think for me it's that, like, once I have it, then the next day I'm going to want it to, if I have, like, a dessert tonight, there's a chance that tomorrow I'll be craving it. So I guess sugar does that to people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do the cheat day thing.
Yeah.
Because I want to go hog wild. Plus, it's not really, I don't think it's like, it'd be hard to have a lifestyle. Like, it works for The Rock because he has a very strict program.
Yeah.
To, like, work out the way he works out. Like, it's all very strict. Eating and working out is all very, very strict. But for me, like, who doesn't have that, and doesn't have a desire to have that.
Yeah.
There are days during the week where it's like, oh, let's go grab drinks to hang out. And it's just like Tuesday's like, oh, but it's not my cheat day. Should I have beer? I don't want to live that lifestyle either.
No, that's not fun.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, like, fine. Like, what are your like, big weaknesses? Like, what is the things that you want?
Probably sugary dessert, like, the desserts, the beers.
The beers.
All the beers. Yeah, those are the main ones, because it's the IPAs that I like, and those have a lot of sugar. So it's still just sugar. It's probably, I have a sweet tooth, so.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's my weakness. That's my big weakness.
Yeah.
One thing that you mentioned, and it seems like a recurring theme in Anna New, is the emotion you have with eating. Like, you like to eat something and be really emotional about the response you have to it, which sounds like your approach to improv as well. Something happens and you have, like, an emotional sort of thought process to it. Maybe that's what a New Hampshire person is. No. I'm gonna find it out. No, but that's really interesting. Is that also something that you incorporate with dancing?
What?
The emotional side. Like, is that something that...
Yeah, I mean everything.
Yeah.
Just like I'm a feely person. Yeah, like food, movement, all those things like I associate with something. So when like I taste something, I like remember like a memory, or like when I'm moving, like I don't know, just I've always felt great like expressing myself through movement is because it's easier for me than talking is. If that, I don't know where I'm going with that. Can this podcast be a video of me dancing instead?
No, that's interesting, though. I appreciate that. I think I'm like learning a lot of new things about, and it's like, it's not even so much I'm learning new things, it's that I'm learning deeper things about what I already witnessed and noticed about you. So it's interesting to like pick your brain about all this.
Is it?
I think so, because I've genuinely have appreciated your improv on stage.
Thank you.
And you've taught a little, right?
Oh yeah. I've done some workshops. I did like some dance improv workshops, and then a character workshop at Magnet.
Oh,
and then
cool.
I coached for a few years.
Your character approach, like how does Anna New teach someone to approach character?
When I did that workshop, I did like lots of physical stuff. So like starting with some sort of physicality or like voice, and then seeing where that takes you instead of like coming up with like a line or an idea of like, oh, this type of person, because that's not something like, that's something like a workshop I'd like to take from someone else, but like for me, how I approach characters is like how I taught it. Yeah, which is mostly just like body, like what's your posture, like where,
and what does that say? What does that mean?
Yeah. How does it make you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I'm like right now just kind of like slumped, like I like notice a change in the way I talk and like confidence level, but if I was like this, I feel I could be someone else.
That's good. Yeah, the reoccurring theme of emotion and how you approach things. That's really great. Well, we've reached the end of the episode.
Of the improv.
We've reached the end of the improv. It's over now.
Okay.
Improv is over. Everyone shut it down. No, we've reached the end of the episode. What is something that we can create together?
Oh.
Based on what we've talked about, it'd be hard on audio to do something dance-wise. What's something that's coming to mind for you? We talked so much about emotion and how it informs what you do. And we also talked about people watching. What is maybe an exercise we can talk out or do, or something involving one of those or both of those that we can figure out, or we can just do a scene.
We could do a scene where we're people watching, talking about what they're doing physically.
Okay, but we don't have anyone to people watch.
That improv is all made up.
I know, but what will inspire us in those scenes? We're just making up.
Look at you have like a bottle,
We have a
here,
bottle here.
and like a Snoopy.
And a Snoopy.
So these are two people.
Okay.
Yeah, there's two people on the train across from us. Yeah.
All right, let's do this. They look happy, but they don't look together.
Yeah, do you think they are? Maybe they're just sitting really close to one another.
Yeah, maybe they don't know each other. Maybe he is grinning ear to ear.
I can't look away.
I can't either. He is grinning ear to ear.
Is he listening to something?
Maybe he is.
No.
He doesn't have any earbuds in.
No earbuds in.
Do you think it's just because he's next to her?
Oh my god. She is adorable.
Yeah.
That little bow tie.
She's very put together.
Yeah.
Is that a cape?
It is a cape. Oh my god.
He's wearing a cape.
She's wearing a Christmas cape.
Maybe that's what maybe that's what's making him grin.
Yeah. Well, maybe, I don't know. It's SantaCon, so he's wearing a Santa. He's just kind of.
He is.
He could just be out of it.
He's drunk. He's drunk.
He's a drunk.
Oh, the train's stopping. Hang on, let's see if one of them leaves.
Oh, they're making eye contact. They're not leaving.
Okay. It looks like they just met.
Yeah.
Interesting.
His nose is dripping.
Yeah, he is drunk.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm not judging. I'm just saying. I'm just observing. I'm just people watching over here.
He just like has his hands right on his thighs, like glued.
Oh, I bet she appreciates that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna
just
like I'm
show you my hands. I'm not gonna even accidentally brush up against you.
No. But like know that I'm.
Do women appreciate that when a guy's like, I'm making a concerted effort to keep my hands to myself and away from you?
Yeah.
Because you could just accidentally rub up against somebody in a crowded subway.
I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate it when like thighs are together, not spread apart. Hands are like
no man spreading.
No man spreading. Like I even like it if someone has like a hood on their jacket that kind of feels like flopped over to the side, and you like notice it touches you, and they're like, oh, and they kind of sweep it. It's like, oh yeah, we are such cramped space. It's nice to have that like. Okay.
I keep my hands where people can see them like in a crowded space. Sometimes I pick them up.
Like a doctor.
Right, like a doctor.
Wash their hands.
And walk away, because if I have my hands by my side, I could accidentally, back of my hand, hit them.
That's true.
Touch them, and I don't want that. And I don't want them, if like my bag or jacket or my person in general hits them somewhere, I want them to see, well, my hands are up here, so don't worry. I wasn't doing anything weird.
Yeah, you're not being weird at all.
There it is. Well, thanks for being on the podcast, Anna.
Thank you.
What positive vibes. She is so great to be around, and it was really helpful to hear how she approaches scene work because I'm so inspired by her. I just wanted to know how she got into that headspace, and I hope it was edifying for you like it was for me. If you want to follow her food blog with previous guest Liz Migliaccio, you can. You can go to Liz and Anna Eat Out New York.com. You can also follow them on Instagram at Liz and Anna Eat Out New York. Follow her as well at Anna C. New, and you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at There It Is Pod. And don't forget, we have a comedy lifestyle newsletter offering tips on life, comedy, and health to help make life pursuing comedy a little bit easier. Subscribe to it, will ya? Links for all this in the bio. We have one more episode coming at you next week, and it's the Christmas episode. Until next time, be good to each other.
The music for the theme song was created by Neil Brooks. The rap was written and performed by Nick Acevedo. The logo for There It Is was created by Jeff Prater. The There It Is podcast is produced by Jason Farr.